He's getting older.
Oh, hit the full button!
But not wiser.
Stupid bitch!
This is the Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the Lefty Show, episode number 20. Oh, yeah, baby. Episode number 20 of the Lefty Show. God, that reminds me, I need to start making some more thumbnails. I did all the way up to 20. Now I got to go all the way up to 30 or 40 or something like that, and just in one batch, so I don't have to make them every time I do a show. Anyway, welcome one and all to the Lefty Show, episode number 20. I'm your host, Lefty. Glad to be here. Hope to put on a great show for you today. The year of our spaghetti monster, Friday, May 23rd, 2014. Well, the year of our spaghetti monster, 2014. It is Friday, May 23rd. Hello, everybody. How are you? Hello, creepy people that are watching the video stream. I'm going to try something this week. Or not this week, this show. I did a little work in Photoshop, as you can see, and I on the thumbnail or on the background that's going to be playing, I made a small window of that I can put my webcam in. I got a little drop shadow there, too. Well, looks pretty good, doesn't it? But I'm going to put a webcam there. And this week, I'm going to try it out to record with my webcam while I'm recording. You get to see me all disheveled. Haven't taken a shower yet today. You know, I'm not going to get done up for for the Lefty Show, which is one of the reasons why I didn't want to go with a camera in the first place, is because I could just wake up looking all disheveled and shitty and still do a show, and I don't have to worry about being all pristine and nice. But you know, it looks kind of okay, I guess. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try this, and my biggest concern is file size and render time. And file size directly affects render time, or the video feed directly affects file size, which directly affects render time and directly affects, subsequently, upload time. And if it's too much, I don't know what my threshold is. I'll just have to look at the file size. But if it's too much, you know, in order to crank these shows out every day, the webcam is going to have to go. It's just not in the cards right now, because it ties up to render an hour of even small 720p video. I don't know how big of a deal that's going to be. And on top of rendering a bunch of other things, you know, PKA plays, I've got 5.5 hours of Civilization 5 in the can for you guys that I've got to set to go with render. You know, Chiz Kyle and I played Civilization 5 a bunch, and I've got that, and so I can't tie up my computer for that long. So we'll see. If it doesn't work out, I'm sorry, there won't be any video here. It will just be the thumbnail. I'll just, you know, disable the video and put a static image up just like I normally do. Just testing it out to see if it's workable. It's workable. But if it's, you know, if it's not, it's not. So don't worry, people. You're not missing anything. If you're one of those that really enjoy just the audio only format, and you can go do other things while you listen. Hopefully, it still sounds pretty decent with regards to audio, as I get really close to the microphone. So, anyway, welcome one and all. Episode number 20, landmark, hallmark episode. Not really. It's number 20. I mean, we're a daily podcast, or I'm a daily podcast. You're daily listeners to a daily podcast. And we've got to go, let's see, what's it, probably 50? 50 for a daily podcast would probably be a big deal if I still have the want and the will to do this show for 50 episodes. Then, you know, we might have something. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for watching on YouTube, liking and favoriting. Everybody that does that, you help grow the show. Thank you to everybody that has and perhaps will and continue to share the podcast with your friends or family or coworkers. That's how you help the show grow. And I greatly appreciate it. Thank you all very much for doing that. Thank you to everybody that's been donating and everybody that will go to the link into the description right now and click on imraising.com/643 Productions. Generous donations are appreciated. They help keep the show afloat, studio costs, hosting costs, all those things. imraising.com/643 Productions. I actually had a dream last night. I had a dream last night that I was doing the Lefty show, and I I was doing a pitch for, it was the craziest thing. It was, and I thought it was real. It was one of those dreams where you wake up and you think it's real. I've had many of those dreams where I wake up and I start looking for the gigantic stash of cash that I have from winning the lottery or the gold bullion or whatever it is. And, you know, I woke up and I said, oh, man, I hope that whatever company it was, I forget off the top of my head, but whatever company it was that I did this fake pitch for on the Lefty show, I hope they don't get upset. And I thought it was weird because as I thought more and more about it, I thought, man, did I actually pitch something on the Lefty show as a joke? Because I was thinking about it, and I came to the conclusion that I would like to begin putting out feelers for sponsoring the Lefty show on the daily. And I was thinking about ad packages and all this stuff. You know, can I double up or even triple up for a show, and what's a reasonable price, et cetera, et cetera. And I was thinking about all that, and I had the idea, one of the reasons I want to do it is the money, you know, it's going to be chicken shit to start off. But one of the reasons that I thought was, you know, it can't be bad to develop as a pitchman. It can't be bad to develop skills at doing a read, at saying, you know, this, you know, got to give love to a sponsor. You know, this segment brought to you by, or this episode powered by, et cetera, et cetera. It wouldn't be bad to do that and to get in the habit and learning to generate and do reads. And I was thinking, you know, what if I just said, this episode sponsored by NVIDIA, this episode sponsored by Samsung, or you gotta love Samsung, and da-da-da-da-da, I generated fake reads. And I thought about it apparently to the point where I had a dream about it. And in the dream, I did the intro for, that was lint rolling across my desk. I thought it was a spider. In the dream, I did the intro to the Lefty show, and then I was doing, it was the actual intro, and I started to talk about this sponsor. I want to say it was Samsung, and I woke up thinking that I had actually done it, and I hope Samsung wouldn't be pissed about it. And, you know, I guess it's to the point now where I'm thinking about my show and doing things that I'm no longer dreaming about, you know, Heather Locklear. I'm no longer dreaming about winning the lottery or winning the World Series or anything like that. I'm dreaming about YouTube and putting on a podcast. That is what I do for you. I have surrendered my dreams and my dreams of my actual dreams, not my, you know, I daydream, but my sleeping dreams of all this grandeur. I've surrendered all of that to dream about doing a read for Samsung. This episode brought to you by Samsung. Check out their new Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1, Galaxy Tab Pro. Galaxy Tab Pro line of tablets is the greatest, blah, 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 blah. That's what my dreams have become, instead of you just won, you know, you're a millionaire, you're jet setting, I dreamt that I was on a beach, or even the, you know, the thing's chasing me and I can't run away, or the weirdest one that I found in terms of dreams is when you dream that you're going to get in a fight, or you dream that you're defending yourself from something, whatever it is. And you put your dukes up in your dream, obviously, and you try to punch somebody or something, whatever it is. Usually it's somebody, at least for me, and it's like you're ready to go to blows with this person, and you're ready, and you have the opportunity to punch them in the face and score the winning blow. You've got that. And you wind up perfectly fine to do the punch, but then as you slowly uncoil to drive your fist towards their face, drive it home, and defeat this person in your dream, as soon as you start to do that, it's like you're moving through sand. You're just, and it's like you're moving in slow motion, but everybody else is moving at normal speed. Your punching motion is in slow motion. You're, but the other person is just like, what are you doing? And it gets to the point where you can punch them, but it's just, it becomes the soft little, just like a little tap on the cheek. And you're like, ugh. And they look at you like, what the fuck? And I wonder what causes that. What is it about my brain where in my own dream I am inept at punching people? Why does my own brain fuck me? Like, why can't I ever beat the shit out of somebody in my dream? Why can I never fuck them up, like, big time? Whoever it is. You know? Comcast representative or Comcast embodied or whatever's pissing me off at the time. Why can I not beat the shit out of them? Why will my brain not let me punch this person in the face repeatedly and have it be satisfying? Why does it always have to feel? Why do I always have a feeling of inadequacy? Like the dream, there's enough inadequacies to feel in the real world. When you're driving down the street and you're driving some little shit box, and the other day I've talked about it before, I saw a guy in an Aston Martin Vanquish, and man, that's an amazing car. And you go anywhere, and you go on Amazon. I was looking at watches, and Amazon brought up to me like, hey, here's this really nice watch. I'm like, ooh, that's nice. How much is it? $3,000. Nope. Oh, you want all these things? Well, here's the biggest and baddest and the best that you can do. No, you can't have it. And that all that shit happens in the real world. Your dreams should be a place where you can retreat and finally be the king of the castle. Finally, you are the biggest and baddest thing on the block in your dreams. You should go through every single dream fucking everything up. That's probably better psychologically for you than repressed memories resulting in your feelings of inadequacies embodied by the fact that you can't really punch anything even though you really want to do it. You can't escape your own inadequacies, even in your dreams, and that's fucked up. Fuck you, brain. What's that all about? Why you got to do that? I should be able to win the lottery, fuck hot bitches, and beat the shit out of people that I want to in my dreams. I should not have to worry about quicksand coming out of nowhere or slowing down in slow motion and then the guy dodges my punch or I don't know, I'm not as strong as I thought I was. Why does that even fucking happen? It's stupid. It's ridiculous, and I'm absolutely sick of it. I'm pissed at my brain. I need to read one of those books on lucid dreaming or something else, whatever it is that you can do where you can control your dreams. I should learn to queue up Would You Rather. I really should, but I don't. I have it bookmarked too. That's the thing. There it is. See, bam, got that bitch bookmarked. Oh man, these are lame. Oh, no. There's one with spiders. Don't care. Don't care. Let's see. All right, here's the pressing question. Let's get into a little Would You Rather. Got some news coming up later in the show. If you only had one knife, but one knife, what would you spread first? Would you rather spread peanut butter first or jelly first? Oh, boy. You know, I know a lot of people are going to disagree because the initial reaction is you've got to keep the peanut butter out of the jelly. You've got to do it. You cannot have little bits of peanut butter after you dip the knife into the peanut butter and spread it on, if you're making a PB&J, after you dip the knife in the peanut butter and spread it on the bread, you can't then go back to the jelly because you're going to get peanut butter all in the jelly jar. And that's just not going to work. you're not going to have nearly as much jelly left over in the jar of peanut butter as you are peanut butter in the jar of jelly. But here's the thing. Here's how I approach it, is that I'm worried about the consistency and the structure of the sandwich. I don't care about the ingredients in their respective containers because they're not my sandwich. They become part of my sandwich when they're on the bread. So, and what's more, they're mixed anyway. They get mixed anyway. The peanut butter gets mixed with the jelly, and the jelly gets mixed with the peanut butter a little bit on your sandwich. So having a little bit of peanut butter in the jelly jar or a little bit of jelly in the peanut butter jar, not a big deal. My worry is I use the peanut butter like a spackle on the bread. I use it as sort of a sealant because the bread is very porous. White bread, any kind of bread, doesn't have to be white. Bread, loaf slices of loaf bread are usually quite porous. And if you get a flaky batch of bread and you put jelly down on the bread, that jelly's going right through the bread. It's going right through it. Your sandwich is going to fall apart in your hands, and it's going to be a messy concoction. It's still going to taste great, but you're going to have jelly and peanut butter and shit all over your hands, and you're not going to get all the jelly because it's going to fall on the plate, and then you look like a retard if you use your fingers to pinch up any extra bits of jelly and either put it back on your sandwich or just pop that bitch straight back into your mouth. So my approach is I put the peanut butter on the pieces of bread, on both sides of the bread, to act as sort of a sealant. Because then I can put the jelly onto the peanut butter, and it's not going to soak through my bread. It's not going to make the sandwich fall apart as the jelly, as the more liquid style jelly, less viscous, I guess, jelly seeps through the bread. The peanut butter is going to stop that. So if you ask, I'm going to have to say peanut butter first, because it matters not to me if there's a little bit of peanut butter in either respective jar or jelly in each respective ingredient jar. But what matters to me is making sure that my sandwich stays whole and doesn't fall apart in my hands. Here's another would you rather. Would you rather constantly have wrinkled clothes or never have toothpaste? Wrinkled clothes, because I don't iron my shit anymore. I used to, but I quickly realized, first of all, you don't have to have an iron. You can just if you want to iron your shirt, just pop that bitch on a hanger when you take a hot shower. Not in the shower. Don't do that. But put it, on a hanger near, and take a long hot shower, and then when you get out, just pull taut against the hanger your shirt, and bam, you got a nice, pretty much a nice pressed shirt. But wrinkles, that's an acceptable thing now. That's an acceptable style of dress. That is acceptable in your clothes. There are some things that are sold, they're supposed to be worn wrinkled. You're not supposed to iron them. They're not supposed to look crisp and sharp. They're supposed to look wrinkled like you just rolled out of bed or you've been wearing them. They're supposed to look weathered. That is part of fashion now, but it has never been acceptable to go without toothpaste for a long period of time. It's acceptable to walk around with wrinkled clothes. And just by the very nature of wearing clothes, they're going to be wrinkled. So you walk around in town and you're wearing wrinkled clothes, people come up to you, why are your clothes wrinkled? You say, fuck, I've been wearing them for a while. But you walk around town, you walk up to people and they say, what the fuck is wrong with your breath? You say, well, I don't use toothpaste. I never have it. And they're going to say, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get some damn toothpaste. Oh, great. You've got nice, crisp, clean clothes, but your breath smells like a monkey's ass. What are you doing? Get out of here. So I'm going to say constantly have wrinkled clothes, because not having toothpaste is just, ugh, no. Ooh, here's a good one. Would you rather know everything, or would you rather be the ruler of everything? Well, speaking as somebody that knows everything, yeah. I'm going to have to say be the ruler of everything, because I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson and those kinds of people. Obviously know more than I do about many, many subjects. But I have the balls to tell people, fuck you. I've got the balls to tell people, no, this isn't happening because it's the greater good. I don't need to know everything to be the ruler of everything. I can learn enough from people that know better to properly, in my own mind, to properly go about bettering society or whatever it is that I'm ruling. I don't need to know the to the nth level economics. I don't need to have a graduate degree, post or doctorate degree in economics to know that it's probably a bad idea to let corporations do whatever the fuck they want and to remove all kinds of labor restrictions, minimum wage and child labor laws and all kinds of labor protection and the ability to unionize. I know it's kind of a bad idea to do that. And similarly, I don't need to be I don't need to be Henry Kissinger to know that I probably shouldn't fuck around in the Middle East, and I don't know what I'm doing there, and I don't know. My point is this. I don't need to know everything to know that I don't know. And I think the most important quality in being an effective ruler, you want your ruler to be a jack of all trades. You want them essentially to be smart enough that smart enough to say that they don't know. I am smart enough to know, not to know everything. I'm not smart enough to know everything, but I am smart enough to know that I don't know and learn and go from there. I don't need to know everything to be the ruler of everything. But if I know everything, the best I can hope to be is somebody that has the ear of somebody in power. Whereas, and I have to hope that they listen to me and have the balls. But if I really want to affect change, I don't need to know everything. I can be the ruler of everything, and I personally am smart enough to know that I don't know and take leads from other people and then just apply my own horseshit brand of logic and get some real change around here. Get some real change done to the betterment of society and to set us all up for the future. Oh, here's a great question. We'll round out Would You Rather with this. Would you rather date Topanga from Boy Meets World or date Pam from The Office? I just want to make sure Pam is the one I'm thinking of. Okay, that's Pam. Making sure Pam wasn't the whale one. Date Topanga from Boy Meets World. First of all, I got to ask, which Topanga are we going for here? Because if we're going for Boy Meets World Topanga, that's underage and that's not cool, and I'm going to jail. Pam from The Office, there's no risk of statutory. No risk of statutory. Good. And also, I saw something interesting on Reddit. There was a picture or a series of images, a gallery, if you will. Some people call it a gallery. They had compiled pictures of casts of 90s television shows. Full House, Saved by the Bell, Boy Meets World. Let's see what else was on there. Full House, Boy Meets World. There was one other I want to say. Oh, Saved by the Bell. Yeah, Full House, Boy Meets World. No, I think I said Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell. Anyway, a bunch of pictures, right? And it's all the cast at their current ages. They're all much older than they appeared on television. And I knew the Boy Meets World one because I knew some of the cast members. But then there was one lady in the background that looked like a fucking alien. Okay, I'm sure she's got a great personality. I'm sure she does. Topanga, whoever played Topanga, that actress. But in this picture, she looked like an alien, and I thought. I said, who is this person? Like, is this from a later season in the show, and they added a character that I don't know? And I had to go to other images. No, that was Topanga. The alien looking thing was Topanga as she is now, 30-something years old, the actress is. And Again, sure, she's got a great personality, but I will default to plain Jane. Pam is very plain Jane from The Office. I will go with plain Jane versus 30-year-old alien. I don't want a 30-year-old alien. I don't. I will take plain Jane from The Office with the dry, shitty humor that whole series was about. And I know some people are going to, rail on me for this, but The Office was fucking awful. It was just bad. It was bad. Bad. It was not a very good show. The humor just, it was a different brand of humor from people that the dry humor just didn't work for me, okay? From my perspective, it was a bad show. The dry humor is best left to people that do dry humor really well. Steve Carell, all right. But everybody else on that show, the dry humor just did not work. Just did not work. And one of the worst parts about a show that is popular is everybody telling you it's the greatest fucking show in the world. Because when I was perfectly content to watch a few episodes of The Office and say, meh, not for me. Everybody else free to like it. You like it, okay. Not for me. Dry humor, not my thing. Or not my thing as it is delivered by the American version of The Office. But what put me on the other side of the fence, completely to the other side of the fence, where I say The Office was fucking awful, was their legion of fans who could not go 5 fucking minutes without telling you how great The Office is. Oh, The Office is great. It's the greatest sitcom on television. Oh my fucking God, it's the greatest thing. Shut the fuck up. Same thing with Breaking Bad. I was emboldened in my disdain for The Office and my refusal to watch Breaking Bad or The Wire or The Shield or all these other shows that have these cult followings. I am emboldened to dislike and not watch them when their fans can't shut the fuck up about them. No, I don't watch Breaking Bad. Oh, well, it's the greatest show. Probably fucking not. Oh, well, you got to watch it. It's the greatest thing. Have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet? Oh, let's talk about it. I got to talk about Breaking Bad. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. When you go that far, I am going to try to swing the pendulum back in the other direction. When you go so far, and I'm sure I was a fan of The Sopranos. I wasn't that kind of fan of The Sopranos. I wasn't one of those people. But I'm sure there were asshole fans of The Sopranos who wouldn't shut the fuck up about The Sopranos. Do you watch The Sopranos? No. Okay, I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to go whack off or something. But no, people couldn't shut the fuck up about The Office. People couldn't shut the fuck up about Breaking Bad and refused to shut the fuck up. Have you seen Breaking Bad? We got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about Breaking Bad. No, we fucking don't. I'm going to go do something else. You're going to sit here and play with yourself to bald Bryan Cranston. Jesus Christ. I get that people like shows. I get it. But when you try to bring that show, you essentially turn into a proselytizing religious figure. You essentially turn into that Christian who is constantly trying to glory to God. Excuse me, sir, do you have a minute to talk about? You turn into Mormons. You turn into door-to-door people pitching your bullshit show. Are Mormons inherently bad people? Are the guys that go knocking on your door, are they bad people? No, they're not bad people. They're not bad folks. They just really believe in this stuff. They're not trying to hurt you. They're not trying to steal from you, I don't think. They just really believe in they've been indoctrinated, and they really believe in their religion. And they're not trying to hurt you with it. They're not hurting anybody else with their religion. They are, in their mind, doing a good deed. And from the outside, you look at that and you say, oh, well, that's all right. Well, I'm not religious, but, I appreciate the sentiment. It's the same way when people say, I'll pray for you. As an atheist, I don't get upset by it. When they say, I'll pray for you, God bless you, not in the sneezing sense, but, God bless this or that, I get it means something different to me than it does to the religious. They say, I'll pray for you, and they might be praying for me to convert to a religion, but I take it more of as, well, thank you for taking up personal time to think about me and to worry and care about me. I'm not going to believe in your bullshit, but the fact that you for whatever reason care enough about me to wish me well, that's good for me. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Now, if you go too far and I say, please stop, or you're just all over the place, you're irreverent about God this, God that, well, then I'm going to have a talk with you. We're going to have to talk about you talking about the GOD. And so, are Mormons bad people? No, they're not. But everybody fucks with Mormons. Everybody hates Mormons showing up there at their door trying to talk about Jesus Christ. Everybody fucking hates it. Get the fuck out of my building. Get the fuck off my lawn, etc. Right? Same way with people that wouldn't shut the fuck up about The Office, wouldn't shut the fuck up about Breaking Bad. You are the door-to-door proselytizers of your bullshit show, just like Mormons. Do you like Mormons? Do you walk them in? Hey, come on, let's sit down, let's talk. Talk about God. I love it. No, you say, fuck you, don't bother me, get out of my apartment building, get out of this, get out of that, leave me alone, right? That's what you say about Mormons. Same thing should apply to just crazy fans of bullshit television shows. Can't tell if that's I've got a spot on my monitor. And I can't tell if it's a spot on my monitor or a little bit, because it's just on the, well, I guess there's one way to find out. Okay, so it's a spot on my monitor. Because I couldn't tell, it was just on the overcam, the cam overlay, where my webcam is. And I couldn't tell if it was a spot on my monitor or some of my plosives had created some spittle that had hit the lens just right to create that little mark. But no, it's a spot on my monitor. And professional, I know. But okay, you like shows, I get it. Good for you. I'm a fan of some shows that other people aren't. And sometimes I say, I think you'd enjoy it, but that's as far as it goes. I'm not going to just berate people about the awesomeness that is The Office, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Dexter, The Walking Dead. Just, oh my God, just enjoy it on the inside. Talk about it with people that have already communicated. If you hold up a flag, or if you're wearing the Walking Dead windbreaker and you see somebody else wearing the Walking Dead windbreaker, go up and talk to them about Walking Dead. But shut the fuck up about it if I say, no, I don't watch it. Don't watch it. Well, you got to watch it. Oh, man, you got to watch it. You got to see it. It's the greatest thing. No, I don't. And if you keep talking about it, I'm going to set the studio on fire. I'm going to find out where they filmed that fucking show. I'm going to show up there. I'm going to firebomb the motherfucker. So you stop fucking talking about it. Anyway, let's do a little news. Let's get into a little news here. We've got some things to talk about today. Some unemployment talk. 47% of unemployed Americans have just stopped looking for work. And similarly, there is a study out that shows the black college graduates have double the unemployment rate of all other college graduates. Race baiting as usual. We'll talk a little bit about abortion and Detroit and anything else that comes up along the way, talking about the news. Is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else. Oh, we'll talk about, if we have a little bit of time, we'll talk about capital punishment, the news with Lefty. All right, so okay, I don't know what I want to rant about first. There's a doctor in the Detroit news. Headline is, Doctor, Detroit abortion stats, quote, like some third world country. And this is there is no burying of the lead here in this story, but starts off, first paragraph, nearly 1/3 of all pregnancies in the city of Detroit end in abortion, a statistic public health officials blame on rising poverty and dwindling access to affordable contraception. Of an estimated 18,360 pregnancies among Detroit residents in 2012, the most recent year for which data are available, 5,693 ended in abortion, or 31%. And it goes on. That translates into a Detroit abortion rate, the number of abortions by population, including women who weren't pregnant that year, of 37.9 per 1,000 women aged 15 to 44. That's up from 27.5 per 1,000 women in 2001. 37, okay, the number of abortions by population, including women who weren't pregnant that year. So, 37.9. All right, so 37 women per 1,000 age 15 to 44 will have an abortion in Detroit, up from 27. It's a staggering 3 times greater than Michigan's statewide rate, which declined from 12.6 abortions per 1,000 women during childbearing years to 11 per 1,000 over the same period. So to put that in perspective, the entire state of Michigan, the glove, I love the glove, is 11 per 1,000. If you randomly sampled 1,000 women, you are likely to find 11 of them in that year had an abortion. If you go to Detroit, and these are all 15 to 44 childbearing years. Why we're including 15 as childbearing? No fucking idea. But anyway, if you go to Detroit and you similarly sample, you nab 1,000 women off the street. Please don't do that. That's bad and kidnapping. If you randomly sample 1,000 women age 15 to 44 in Detroit, you're likely to find 37 of them have had an abortion in the last year, and or will have an abortion in that year. Now, this isn't this. I'm just going to continue for right now. I don't know when to start the rant, because starting the rant at the wrong time will communicate the completely wrong message. Oh, here are the 2 paragraphs that stuck out to me. National studies show a direct correlation between abortion and poverty. Legal abortion is considered a medically safe procedure with few complications. But problems that often underline abortion, such as poverty and poor access to health care, are public health issues that need to be addressed if the rate is to be reduced, experts said. Funding for family planning and contraceptives has decreased significantly in Michigan in recent years, from more than $5 million in 2006 to $692,300 in 2013, according to the State Department of Community Health. The number of citizens receiving free family planning assistance decreased by about 80,000 between 2006 and 2013. Here's the thing, okay? This is not an argument against abortion. This is not an argument of it's morally wrong to have an abortion. If you can't afford a child, too bad, you got to stick with it, et cetera, et cetera. This is not that. I support a woman's right to choose. I have a bit of an issue with the woman's right to choose thing, because I think if it's a relation, it gets a little muddy there, but just a bit, not much. But I support the idea of, shit, an accident happened, or I was raped, sexually assaulted, whatever, and I've got this child now, and I don't want this child. This was an accident, or even I thought things were going to be different. It turns out they're not. I want to have an abortion. I support that right. I support even a woman who gets pregnant, but then a month into it decides, I want to go to France for 6 months. I can't have this child, and has an abortion. Even though I support the right to do it, but I also reserve the right to call that woman a bitch. Be like, fuck you. Make better decisions. You can't just commit to something and then, I want to go to France for 6 months, and then have a fucking abortion. I'll support the right. I'll support your right to do it, but I'm going to support my right to think you're a bitch for doing that. Or not a bitch, because a bitch is gender specific. You're a fucking asshole. I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to try to stick to that from now on. Not gender specific. No, not bitch. No. I apologize. I retract my previous usage of the word bitch. Fucking asshole. Simple. Not gender specific, gender neutral. fucking asshole. You're a fucking asshole if you do that. You have the right to do it, but you're a fucking asshole. And this is not an argument against that. What this is an argument against, or, well, this is an argument for, is some common sense and accountability, okay? Because similarly, I am of the mind, again, those two paragraphs talking about funding for family planning and contraceptives and the number of clients receiving free, not really free, somebody's paying for it, but free family planning assistance decreased about 80,000 over 7 years. My argument is this, or my problem is this. It's that, again, I am not of the mind that you cannot be on the public dole. I am not of the mind that there should be no such thing as the public dole, that there should be no such thing as free family planning assistance. I should probably research more what that means, but I'm sure they're talking about contraception and abortion services. They just slap that name on it, family planning. No, you're talking about abortions and contraception, you know, the Plan B, all that shit. I am not of the mind that those should be, that there's no public welfare. I am for a welfare system of some kind, because I believe that if the government is going to allow crony capitalism to continue, and you're going to allow the rich and the uber rich to continue to widen the wealth gap and continue to drive stakes into the heart of the middle class, the middle and lower classes, I think, and allow a system in which the minimum wage has not even kept pace with inflation at all, if that's going to be allowed, well, then the government should kind of, as just a our bad, or just a, yeah, we're sorry you're getting fucked, here's a little something for the effort. So, you know, I'm on the first tee with him, I give him a try. But I think that's a good counterbalance to, look, we're going to let the rich fuck you, but we are going to tax the rich after fucking you, and then we are going to create these programs that kind of make the fucking not hurt as much. Your ass is not going to burn or bleed as much. We're going to try to stop the bleeding and give you some painkillers, figuratively speaking. Fuck it. No, anyway, right? Sometimes getting fucked actually hurts. If you're getting fucked in a job, you know, you get hurt, you get sick, nothing you can do, you can't afford it. We'll help you out. And I agree with that. I don't know where the specific line should be drawn. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. But it just makes sense to me. It makes sense. And I'm not against free family planning. I'm not against free safe sex services or contraception. I'm not against that. But what I do have an issue with is a complete lack of accountability on the part of anybody who's talking about this issue. Nobody talks about accountability, because if we're assuming that the rate at which people have sex is about the same in Detroit versus the rest of the world, the very fact, but you know, the poverty levels are what they are, or shit, even if they go up, the very fact that 37 women per 1,000, not even talking about pregnant women, but the very fact that 37 women per 1,000 are likely to have an abortion in the city of Detroit, there's got to be some accountability there. Not just, you know, oh, it's okay, here's free abortion services, or here's free contraception, etc. Somebody should have the balls to tell people in Detroit, especially the underprivileged who can't afford it and who are going to be clamoring for more free services, because that's how it works. They're having children or getting pregnant and they want to get an abortion, but they can't afford it. And so they're going to be clamoring to the legislature for free services. They're going to be clamoring to the municipality and saying, give us free healthcare services so that I can get my abortion. How about this? Stop fucking. How about first, instead of free this, free that, free, which I am, if you make a good case for it, I'll support you. But the first thing on the list of, I don't want to have an abortion, I don't have the money for it, and I can't afford the child. So if I get pregnant and I can't have an abortion and I'm forced to have the child, I am fucked either way. So I really can't get pregnant. How about this? Stop fucking. Stop it. No, that should be line item number 1 on how to reduce abortions per 1,000 women in the city of Detroit. The first thing should be tell them to stop fucking. Stop fucking. Stop it. Okay? Number 2, line item number 2, instead of free abortion clinics, instead of all the money it takes, because abortions are more expensive than condoms. I am operating under that principle. Abortion, more expensive than condoms. Tell the dudes, stop fucking without condoms. Stop it. You want free condoms? Fine, here you go. Free everybody. Everybody get free condoms. Free condoms for everybody. Everybody should carry around rubbers. Fucking women should have rubbers. You want rubbers too for the guy you're fucking? Here you go. Here it is. Not the expensive medical procedures where we insert something, some time release hormones into your uterus so that you can't get pregnant, because that's an expensive medical procedure. Here's fucking rubbers. Tell the guy to wear them, and if he says no, well then don't fuck. Stop. See, if guy will not wear condoms, there should be a rule given to everybody, a set. We need to reduce abortions. Everybody agree? Yeah. All right. Step 1, stop fucking. But I want to fuck. Okay, step 2, wear a rubber. I don't want to wear a rubber. See step 1. Stop fucking. There should be, again, I will support government-funded healthcare, free healthcare, taxpayer-funded, not government, taxpayer-funded healthcare for everybody. Fuck it. Underprivileged, whatever. You know, you want to have an abortion and it was an honest to God, honest to spaghetti gut monster accident, or even if you want to be a fucking asshole, you decided you didn't want the kid for some arbitrary reason, fine. But if it's to the point where you want it all free because they're Here's a quote. "It made me sad," said Penelope Allen, now 21, of an abortion she underwent at age 15. "I was still in school and I had to do what I had to do. I was a kid. People make mistakes. She now has a daughter, Patience, who's almost 2. So, here's what happened. Penelope got herself pregnant at 15. I had to do what I had to do. Well, you know what could have prevented that? You not fucking. But Penelope got herself pregnant at 15, and then 4 years later at 19 got herself pregnant again. Something tells me there was probably sex in the intervening 4 years, but within the span of 4 years, this woman's been pregnant twice. The first time at 15, she had an abortion. But now at 19, apparently, okay, it's yaha time. But it's just, I want some accountability. If you want the help, if you want the assistance, okay. But I want some accountability on the parts of the underprivileged, of those that want the assistance. I want some accountability too. Originally, I was against the idea of having people on welfare, people that accept welfare and food stamps, take drug tests. And I was against it because my initial thinking was, well, that's a subtly racist way to go. What the legislators are doing is subversively, going through and saying, all right, well, drug use is so high in the black population. Well, we're going to institute drug tests, and if you fail a drug test, you won't be able to receive your benefits, and that's just going to somehow hurt black people because we're racist. And I thought it was that. But you know what? No. Fuck that. Accountability. You want to be on the public dole? Fine. I agree with it, and I will fight for your assistance. However, that doesn't mean that you can just go out indiscriminately and do whatever the fuck you want. Because now you're asking for free shit from the taxpayers. Because similarly, if you want those free abortions and that free family planning services, whatever that is, you want a doctor to sit down with you and abort your child, there needs to be some accountability from you. the first thing you should consider is not fucking. And somebody needs to have the balls to say it, because you know what we're talking about? We're talking about telling black people to stop fucking, okay? We just are. We are. Underprivileged white people, yes, there's plenty of that in Detroit. There's plenty of all that. But primarily, everybody knows that when you say to the underprivileged, if you want these free abortion benefits, we're talking, you know, you've got to stop fucking. The primary focus of that are underprivileged black people. Stop fucking. And people shy away from it because they don't want to be seen as being racist. Because if you're called a racist, everything flies out the window. No matter what, if somebody says racist, done. It's just done. So nobody really has the balls, except for me, to tell, stop fucking. Stop fucking. Stop it. It's not a racial issue. Not saying you can't help but fuck because you're black and different or whatever. No. But a lot of these things are happening in your community, and you continue to just hammer the pussy. Stop it. If you want the free shit, fine. But if you don't want to cry about when there's not enough money for it, you should probably look around and say, you know what we should probably do? We should probably stop fucking so much. I think that should be the first thing we do. I am not going to fuck this bitch. Not going to do it. Because there may be a time that I do really want to fuck her, and I get her pregnant, and I need a free abortion because neither of us can afford it. But right now, now's not a good time. Little bit of accountability, and I'll give you all the assistance you want. But I need to know that somebody has to stand up and call for accountability first. First accountability, then you get the assistance. Then you get the welfare. Then you can be on the public dole. Because people fuck. It happens. I get it. But I don't see a whole lot of stop fucking signs. I see a whole lot of more money for free abortion signs. And I've never seen a one sign that said, maybe we should stop fucking. Seen a whole lot of signs that said, give us money for free abortions. I'm fine with free abortions, but I want to know that you're at least try to not fuck so much. At least try. Just try. That's all I want. Same thing with talking about the Catholic Church in Africa and condoning contraception and actually using some of the church funds to fund contraception, free contraception for people to stop the spread of AIDS in that country. Stop fucking. Stop. Stupid. Okay? Yeah, you'll get all the free condoms you want, but you need to try to stop fucking so much. I get you're going to fuck. I get it's going to happen, but you got to stop it. You got to try to turn it down a little bit. You got to try, because think about it. You know, I can put on my headphones, right? I get free headphones for loud music. But even the best headphones aren't going, if the music's too loud, I'm still going to hear it, right? And so, you know, I want free or better headphones because the music's way too loud. You say, well, okay, I can get you the free headphones, maybe even some better headphones or more of them, but do you think maybe you could turn the music down just a little bit first? Maybe first, instead of free headphones for everybody, it should be the ability to turn down the goddamn music just a bit so that everybody can have some room to think before everybody gets free Bose noise-canceling headphones. And to circle back, the worst thing is being called a racist. There's a study, again, I talked about it at the top of the news. The black college graduate have double the unemployment rate as everybody. And some figures being tossed out by the study. I've actually got the PDF here instead of the article. You know, a share of underemployed graduates in low-wage non-college jobs by race. 23, all college graduates is 23.9, 23.5 for black college graduates, or recent college graduates. All black college graduates, 16.2%, 14.3 for all college graduates. The study says, supposedly, that despite having a college degree, black college graduates are still unemployed or underemployed more so than the average. And that's a problem. And of course, instead of trying to account for all variables, it's racism. It's racist. We're a racist society. The study even goes so far as to talk about a supposed study in which, in Major League Baseball, white umpires are less likely to call balls and strikes for black pitchers. Yeah. And, I got to read the study, but something tells me that not all variables are accounted for there, or the sample sizes are really small. But the gist of it is, I'll read from the article. Recent black college grads aged 22 to 27 have an unemployment rate of 12.4%, more than double the 5.6% unemployed among all college grads in that demographic, and almost a threefold increase from the 2007 level of 4.6% before the Great Recession took its toll on the U.S. economy. More than half of black graduates, 55.9%, are underemployed. Even for those who enter the science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM fields, areas where grads are the most needed and paid the highest, African Americans still have a 10% unemployment rate and a 32% underemployment rate. Now, again, the study's authors blame racism, a faltering economy, and an unequal playing field. I want to talk a little bit about racism. I haven't done enough research to directly question the numbers. All I can tell you is that the article was onto something when talking about, I flipped through the study itself, and the article was onto something when they talked about the average unemployment rate of just indiscriminate black college black college graduates and all college grads. And then they were onto something when they differentiated between that and those that got a degree in a STEM field, science, technology, engineering, and math. But conveniently, both the article and the study neglect to show the difference between STEM unemployment and underemployment. The average, the average black college graduate with a STEM degree, their unemployment and underemployment rate versus the average. And similarly, there's a whole lot of differences. This is different, thus it is bad. There is a 7% difference, supposedly, unemployment. Now, how they calculate unemployment for the one category versus the other, that's called into question and never really talked about in either the study or the article. But here's the thing. There are differences. There are, even if we were all computers and people got jobs solely based on computers, even if their names, race, sex, religion, or gender, if all these things were stripped of all job applications and jobs were handed out simply based upon rolling of the dice, there would be discrepancies. There would be. There would be a difference once you employed people based on rolls of the dice, and then you revealed their race, their gender, their ethnicity, etc. And there are going to be differences. That is why we use averages. That's why. There is going to be a percentage difference of some kind between the unemployment rate of black people versus white people. Let's keep it simple. Fuck college graduates. The unemployment rate of black people versus white people. There's going to be a difference. But that doesn't mean anything necessarily. There's going to be a whole bunch of differences and a whole bunch of shit. That's why we have data and data analysis, to point out differences and say, this is because of racism. is silly. And it's, worst part, it's lazy and it's disingenuous, because this is usually used, racism, pulling the race card, as it were, is usually used as a platform to call for more reform in some areas, some form of affirmative action, some form of leveling, quote, leveling the playing field, which I deem racist acts. Affirmative action and leveling the playing field, okay, are racist acts. They entice people to make decisions based on race. Just because it's not, we've all been indoctrinated into thinking that racism is a one-way street, that it's only whites against minorities. That's it. That is the only form of racism. No, racist and racism are, there's no ethnic or there's no bias, racial bias there. It's racially neutral. It's a racially neutral term. It's not reverse racism. Reverse racism, that's bullshit, and that perpetuates the stereotype that racism is a one-way whites versus minorities term. Racist and racism are racially neutral terms. And to say you have to hire more black people, or you have to admit more minorities, and by that very nature deny more majority or white people, you are enticing racism and racist acts, or racism. And my point is this, is that using racism to end racism is stupid. Telling people to be racist to stop being racist doesn't make any goddamn sense. There's no end game there, because there's no denying that especially in America, there was a whole lot of racism about 50 years ago. No, people are entitled to be racist, but in terms of codified, acceptable race, it's been there. Yes, I get it. But to end racism by telling people to be racist, there's no end game there. There's no way. How is it in any way fucking possible to use racism to end racism? How can you go about saying you need to be racist in your admission practices to the University of Michigan, or you need to be racist in your hiring practices in order to stop racist admissions and hiring practices? Simply calling racism and saying more black people need to be hired because of the fact that they're black is using racism to treat racism, and that doesn't make any goddamn sense. I want to know from somebody, anybody, what the end goal of using racism to fight racism is. Now, some people are going to say, well, you use fire to fight fire. Fire to fight fire, man. No, that's bullshit. It's not like the fireman's fire is out there with the wildfire battling it out. They're not fighting. You use fire to lay waste to the area so there's nothing left to burn. You use fire to remove fuel. You don't fight fire with fire. Again, they're not fucking duking it out. What people are doing with racism is they're creating one instance of racism to fight another form of racism. That's it. There's no middle ground there. It's not like, well, this racism is going to do that and then this racism will stop. No, it's just we want the superficial, artificial numbers to be equal, and we'll treat that as ending racism. Huh? And oh, by the way you do that is to tell people you must make decisions based along racial lines, but the decisions we want you to make. We want you to make decisions based along racial lines, but only in this direction and only this way. That's racist. How do you fight racism with racism? It just doesn't, it makes no goddamn sense. I agree that being racist is backward, believing that people are fundamentally different, or not fundamentally different, fundamentally inferior because of their race, I agree that that's wrong. Or not even wrong, but backwards. Because when you say believing it is wrong, that's thought policing. But acting on and treating one race of people as fundamentally inferior to another is wrong and backwards and stupid, and I agree with that. However, making similarly racially charged decisions isn't going to fix and isn't going to solve an issue. You're effectively using nuclear bombs to stop nuclear bombs. Think about how crazy that was in the height of the Cold War. The thing that kept the peace for a long time was mutually assured destruction. Yeah, you're going to fucking get us. You're going to lay waste to our entire civilization, to all my squares, to all my hexagons. You are going to lay waste to that, but you are not going to get enough of my stuff to prevent me from doing the same to you. Nuclear weapons fought nuclear weapons. Was that any kind of peace? Did anybody really feel safe? Did that solve nuclear proliferation? Did that solve it? Was the threat of, I'm going to get you just as much as you're going to get me, did that stop the nuclear weapons from existing? Did that stop the tenuous nature of mutually assured destruction, the tenuous nature of détente? Did it stop it? No, it didn't. It was just kind of a resting point in the function. We were right there. We were right on the curve. Little shove go either way, and then all the energy from the system would be released in the form of nuclear radiation or nuclear blasts. But that wasn't solving nuclear problems. That didn't solve anything. It was just kind of an equilibrium point that was tenuous at best. So it seems to me that if you use racism to fight racism, all you're going to do is embolden people to be racist, and then you're going to make people begrudgingly reach an equilibrium, completely artificial, an arbitrary equilibrium, and bam, now you have to be there. Is that really going to solve racism? Or is it just going to embolden racists, and despite their begrudging acquiescence to your laws, they're still going to be racist. And they're still going to find ways to fuck with you. They're still going to find ways to be racist. Just like there was a bill that passed the House recently in the United States, the House of Representatives, House of Congress, one of the houses. And it supposed sweeping reforms to NSA spying and the ability of the NSA to gather information on unsuspecting and unwitting Americans. And privacy advocates have questioned the bill as it was signed, because originally it was a lot stronger verbiage in terms of removing the NSA's ability to do this or that or the other thing, and constant and unyielding lobbying from the NSA and from the intelligence sector caused a lot of people to roll back some of the reform and say, well, the NSA can still do a little bit of this, and well, the NSA can do a little bit of that. And one of the representatives said, this is not good, because we know that despite making the hole in the security or in the privacy of Americans, in the fort that is the privacy of Americans, despite closing that gap to just a smaller little blah, all we're going to do is incentivize the NSA and the intelligence community to find even more ingenious ways to get through that and do things that we don't want them to do. That's all we're doing. It's either there's a wall or there's no wall, because when there's just a tiny hole or a smaller hole than what there was before, you are just telling people, yeah, you can still get through that if you figure it out, but we are safer because you can't do this. When you say, you have to hire black people because they're black, or you have to hire Hispanics because they're Hispanics, or you have to enroll them in your university and not have as many white people, which means you have to fire white people or not hire white people, you're making people be racist. You're just doing that, and that doesn't make any sense, on top of the fact that when they do reach whatever that bullshit equilibrium is, there's still going to be racist people. and they're still going to want to be racist, despite all the punishments or whatever and laws, and you're just going to incentivize finding ways to enact their racist thoughts or their racist beliefs and circumvent your rules. It does nothing. There's got to be a different way, but up until now, I haven't heard one person talking about an end game for using racist ideologies to combat racist ideologies. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make a goddamn bit of sense. But hey, call a racist nowadays, it's the end of the discussion, because how dare you go against it? How dare you question it? It's like that for a lot of things. Sad. Let's bring it home, baby. Oh yeah. It's been the Lefty Show, episode 20. I had a great time putting on the show for you. I hope you had a great time listening or perhaps viewing. Still not sure about how the video is going to work out. If the file size and render times are just too long, it's just not going to happen. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. Thank you to everybody for watching, listening, and favoriting and liking on YouTube. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you all very much. Thank you to everybody that's been donating. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. Generous donations graciously accepted. Thank you all very much for doing so. Thank you to everybody that's going to be sharing this with your friends, families, and coworkers, helping the show grow. I greatly appreciate it. Anyway, that's my time. I got to get out of here. I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'm out. Bye.
He's got AIDS.